Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Biracial Circus. This is part 2 of small town gossip, and this video is going to be a little different than the last one. I'm going to just include some more tips at how to navigate small town life as just a woman, as a biracial woman, and also, with privilege, with pretty privilege. I'm going to be talking a lot more about pretty privilege on this channel. And I really feel it's important, and it really does change the way you have to navigate certain situations. So back to small town gossip. When you're in a small town, gossip is magnified at least 100-fold than when you're in a larger city, depending on how big your small town is. My small town is very, very isolated. Extremely isolated, just geographically. So it's a hive mind, and, people say like, oh, just leave, just move. And, no, my life is here. My businesses are here. I have multiple friendships here. I have friendships in surrounding areas. This is where my roots are, but it doesn't change the fact that, I have to live a little bit differently socially. And there's a lot of things I have to look out for in order to, protect my energy. So one of the things that gossip can really harm in a small town is your professional relationships. You can easily be driven out of town if, there's enough gossip going around about you. It can be extremely difficult to maintaining employment. And so my tips for this is, obviously, if you got to work somewhere, do whatever you have to do. Get your money. Get your bags. But I highly, highly, highly recommend having a side hustle. And not just a side hustle. I recommend, if you're crafty, if you're able to make something, or if you're able to create goods, maybe you make jewelry or soaps or, mirrors with seashells glued onto them. I don't know. Or maybe you have your own little baby chick hatchery, or, you raise, goats, or these are just ideas. Maybe you have like, you have like animal goods or crafting goods, or you grow food. And this is something I learned the hard way, and hopefully you don't have to too. I recommend marketing outside of your small town. I recommend don't even try to sell whatever you have in your small town. We have a lot of crafting events here in my small town and stuff like that, and people imitate a lot. People will rip you off of your ideas. I mean, if I so much as think of an idea and I tell one person, someone else starts doing it almost immediately. I mean, it's kind of creepy in a way, and I've lived in a lot of small towns like that. So I recommend, if you are employed by an employer, always having a side hustle, and that side hustle being something that you can sell outside of your area, whether it be online or you go travel with a booth to other areas. Don't even waste your time trying to get people locally to, buy things from you. I mean, you can if you want to, if you have a very established presence and there's a high enough demand. But, if you're new in town, even if you've been there for years and years and you're still new, people will try to break you down on price, ask for favors, and freebies, and it just takes away from you. So I really highly recommend having a side hustle that you can market outside of your bubble. I feel like that's very important. Someone tried to tell me that a long time ago, didn't believe them. Oh no, the community will support me. It'll be fine. No. In some cases, yes, but in a lot of cases, no. So there's a pro tip there for you. And, another thing that, in small towns, friendships are made easily, to some extent, but they can also be very fragile, and they're not immune to betrayal. And with that, I recommend having friends outside of your area, and I recommend you maintaining those friendships. I know for me, it's hard to drive The driving is hard because I have to meet my friends a lot of the times. Either they have like full-time employment and they cannot come all the way out here, or, they have very small children, just because of my age range. Everyone I know has extremely small, young infants at this time. And so it really falls on me to do a lot of the traveling. But, they make it up to me. They take me out to dinner. They're like, hey, come stay at my house, bring the dog. No worries. Like, I'm going to accommodate you if you accommodate me by traveling. So make sure it's even, make sure, everybody is, no one's putting out more than the other across the board. But it's important to maintain friendships, outside of your bubble, because should HELL break loose, you have a support system that isn't reliant on the hive small town that you're in. And, I even if things are going gravy and everyone in your small town, I still recommend it. Because, the tides can turn so quickly. It just takes one bad rumor or misunderstanding or just downright, just like, just anything. And it's very important to have and maintain somewhat close but somewhat far away friendships for that reason. Another thing is, being in a small town, just, trying to break into small niche groups, certain sports or, just like activity groups can be difficult, but is a really good idea. It helps you bond with people. It helps you, establish a community. And so I highly recommend that. But I also recommend having activities that you do outside of your small town and having a relationship with all of those people, because, should everything go south in that little teeny tiny area, you're locked out of your entire, your social bond, your sport, you need to maintain relationships surrounding your sport, outside of your community. And it probably sounds like I'm talking like, oh, always have a backup to, but you know what? Always have a backup. Always have a backup, because it could all go south at any time. One thing goes wrong in your small town and you have lost your, religious group, you've lost your friend group, you've lost your employment, you've lost, you just your deep-rooted ties, and so you'll be happy when you had a backup of, I had this side hustle that's now my main hustle. Thank God I established it outside of my small town. Nothing can touch it. I still have my money. And my friends that lived far away, thank God I still have them. And, the currents of gossip and all this stuff didn't wash away that friendship. I still have them, And, I still do these activities in these other small towns. I go to these small towns to do my other activities. So I can still do my exercise, my group activity, my hiking group, my chess group, my pottery collective class. I'm just throwing examples off the top of my head. That existed in the other small town that's over here, and it's not affected by what's going on here. So I still have that to go to. I didn't, you don't lose everything. It's important. It's important for survival. And to anyone who wants to say oh no, you should give it 100% of everything you got. Well, yeah, give everything 100% of what you got. Do your best in everything you do, but always have a backup plan, because, if you've lived in a small town your whole life and you've always been kind of kept at arm's length for whatever reason, maybe it's something your parents did or your friends group did, or you got associated with something that you weren't a part of, but they think you were, and, you've always just kind of been a little bit of an outsider, then this video is for you. If you're new to a small town, this video is for you. If you've lived in a small town for years and you're still new because no one else ever moves there, this video is for you. If you're a pretty girl and everyone hates you or wants to sleep with you, one of the two, this video is for you. And if you're just, trying to look out for your best interest business-wise and friend group-wise and activity-wise, and you live in a small town, this video is for you. And, I've made mistakes living in small towns. I've seen people make mistakes living in a small town. I've seen people's lives be absolutely ruined because of a family member's actions. that live in small towns. And these, tips and just scenarios are just things I have observed. Sorry, I can't even talk. Or things that have directly happened to me. And this is what I've done to mend or completely avoid them. And if anyone else has any tips and, ideas and ways that they've navigated their small town, things that have worked, I highly recommend putting them in the comment section. That helps me. That helps you. That helps everyone else. And this is a learning channel. All right. I hope everyone has a safe day.